Do like the dream sequence.
Yeah, we'll add in some sparkles, some glitter. I mean, your hair is perfect for like the glitter, like colors, it's excitement, this will be fun. Welcome to Class Act Chats, where I talk with a fellow cat behavior expert about cat care or cat training or cat behavior. Today's guest is Beth Brown, a certified cat behavior consultant, Control Unleash instructor, and just a fun human. We wanted to do something kind of fun, so we scoured Reddit for posts about cats. We want to make sure that the advice that's out there is good advice and is actually going to help you and your cat. We got permission from all of these posters to share their posts. We're going to go over some of the best advice and correct a few myths, hopefully. Let's head over to see what Beth has to say. Bam! Okay, enough dancing. We are not here to dance. We have something serious that we need to talk about.
Oh, I came on the wrong podcast.
I hope people are ready for some serious Reddit. We are taking a deep dive into the cat bowels of Reddit and seeing what things are people talking about. What types of questions do people have about cats? And we're gonna educate and comment on.
Some of the questions may surprise you.
There's a few on here that are quite shocking. Well,
if it weren't, it wouldn't be Reddit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it weren't, like, Reddit would be failing at its job.
That's one rule in life.
Before we dive in, though, I know who you are, Beth, but, you know, some people who are watching... Yeah, I know, it's shocking that I know who you are. I don't just invite random weirdos on. I am the only random weirdo on my own channel. For people who don't know who you are, who the heck are you? Why should they trust you that you understand cats and that you know what you're talking about? Besides, you have fabulous hair. Oh, hello, Poutine.
Well, besides Poutine saying so.
Besides Poutine clearly approves.
Exactly. So I'm Beth Brown. I'm a certified cat behavior consultant and a certified dog behavior consultant through the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants. Say that one time fast.
So clearly you understand dogs and cats.
That is what the letters tell me, and the very long tests I took to prove it.
2 very long tests, though, because I'm guessing that they made you, like, do both of them. They weren't just like, well, you have the dog one, I guess you can have the cat one, too, as, like, a freebie, like a bonus.
Yeah, no freebies and certifications, man. Gotta earn them.
Now, I do hear a rumor, though, that you are also a certified capybara behavior consultant as well.
Despite never having touched or been even near a capybara in real life.
We need to change this, I think. So if anyone who's watching, like, has access to a capybara and would be willing to let Beth come, and she's gonna be very nice. She'll be very respectful. She just wants to feed the capybara a carrot. So everybody wins is what I'm hearing.
I think so. I think the capybara would appreciate it.
I do too. I really do too. Get in touch. Well, at the end, Beth will share where you can find her outside of this video. Fun fact, she does not just exist in this video. So she is available elsewhere. And if you have a capybara that you're willing to let her hang out with for a while, give her a holler.
Willing to travel.
Same. I mean, honestly, like for a capybara, I'd be like, yep, we're into it.
There's many places I would go for that.
Yeah, I mean, I would even, no, I'm not going to talk smack about any particular locations, but places that I normally would not go, I would definitely go for a capybara.
Like the other room in your apartment.
Walk all the way over to the other room.
Ugh.
Oh my
so
God,
much
so
work.
Exhausted. I'm tired already, even just thinking about it.
And that's the end of the show.
And that's it. Thanks for watching. No kidding. Stay tuned in. We have more LOLs coming.
More slow blinks and tail lashing.
Yeah, you never know when Poutine's tail will appear again. Or maybe Prozac will join us.
I mean, I would love to grow one of my own. They seem very expressive.
There's so much you can tell people with a tail. You can tell them that you're happy, you can tell them you're angry, you can tell them to kiss your rear, like, anything you can think of.
Your property.
Yeah, get out of here.
Tails and whiskers, that's where it's at. We get behind on the evolutionary lottery.
I mean, there's a lot of ways we have, as a species, have failed on the evolutionary lottery, but, you know, here we are. Somehow we're still here. I question that, and, you know, it may not be for much longer, but we'll see. So, well, we scoured Reddit for some of the most amazing content out there. And we're not just gonna, like, put some slop up here and then laugh and have nothing. Like, we really want to talk about what people are saying about cats out there, and hopefully people take away a few fun cat facts and change how they interact with their cats, and everybody has a good time. I just want to preface this with, we did get permission from all of the individuals that we are going to be showcasing today. We asked and we were like, hey, and they very graciously all were like, sure.
We believe in
I could tell. We did get consent. We do believe in consent around here. And we also probably scared a few people where they were like, WTF is going on? Why are these weirdos asking us to talk about this post? Whatever.
I feel like
could
some of
sense
the responses
skepticism.
were like, okay, I don't know why. Sure.
Yeah, like, why are you asking? Why don't we dive into our first post here, which I will magically make appear on the screen because I have magical superpowers called video editing software. This post is from the Pets subreddit, and it's titled, Did I Abuse the Cat? About 6 months ago, my sister brought home a cat without asking anyone. Naturally, we fought over it, especially because she has a history of neglecting pets. I already had to take over care for the dog she got. The poor thing was living in borderline inhumane conditions before I stepped in. Fast forward to now. Surprise, surprise, she hasn't changed the cat litter in 3 months, which... pause here for a second. The smell, I could...
Hearing that.
I'm just sitting here being like, holy, like, I mean, literally like,
right.
Okay, so the other day I forgot to tie, I didn't realize I didn't tie my litter genie bag. I was like scooping into it and I couldn't figure out why my litter box smelled so bad. And I was dumping it out and I was doing a full cleaning at like 11:30. And I then was sniffing the litter genie and I was like, man, did I break part of it? It normally contains the smell really, really well. And I opened it and I was like, no, it's all in the bottom. So I had to do an emergency cleaning of it. And it was awful because there was like a couple of weeks worth of, again, cat waste in there. And I can't imagine 3 months worth of that.
I mean, at that point, just throw out the entire box. Just start over.
Yeah, and question your life choices because why haven't you cleaned the litter box in 3 months?
Also, is the cat still using it?
Yeah,
If
okay,
so,
great.
Really resilient cat.
Yeah, you owe your cat 7 different types of treats. Some new toys, catnip, probably some Silvervine, because that cat deserves the good stuff. Holy cow!
And I'm imagining your standard box. Isn't it overflowing? Is it still...
I am imagining, like, Poop Mountain. I'm just imagining a little TD, like...
Nope. Every now and then, there's a little avalanche, and it just...
God,
okay.
Like...
Okay.
Okay. We need to keep reading because
beyond the visual.
The visual is actually causing me to. My therapist is going to hear about this. It's going to be, oh my god.
I traumatized myself on the internet.
I traumatized myself in public on a forum that will be online forever. Anyway, back to the post. She being the sister, constantly complains about hating the cat, but every time I suggest rehoming him, she shuts it down. The cat itself, surprisingly resilient, which I mean sounds considering the litter box situation makes sense.
Bomb-proof cat, man.
That cat is a trooper. Like, that cat deserves an award. Holy
cow.
Yeah,
make that cat a therapy cat.
Not aggressive at all. Ever since he was a kitten, he still kinda is. I've been roughhousing with him, wrestling, head grabs, and tummy rubs. Okay, so we usually don't suggest doing that.
Every cat is different, but that being said, hands should not be toys.
Yeah, I'm kind of careful and gotta make sure that the cat is not just tolerating, is actually enjoying.
Which it is a fine line. Hard to tell sometimes.
It does also sound like the cat has bigger problems, and at least this poster cares. I mean, that's part of it is...
At least there's some play happening.
They're trying, they're doing their best. So here's the problem. The cat keeps trying to get into my room. Under normal circumstances, that wouldn't be a big deal, but I live in the attic and it's full of holes and open spaces. If the cat crawls into one of them, it could easily get stuck. Plus, with the sloped ceiling, the room might be big, but there's almost no room to move around. I can't even fully stretch my arms out when I'm standing. Reaching the edges means crawling on my hands and knees, and the cat is way too fast for that. Now, every time I go into my room, I have to stay alert. It's like a mini mission just to get sure that the cat doesn't sneak in. But today was different. I opened the door and the cat bolted past me like it was on a mission. That was the last straw. I felt this sudden spike of frustration, just raw, instinctual anger, and yelled no as I blocked it with my hand in this half slap motion. Then I grabbed the little guy and threw him out of the room before slamming the door shut behind him. And now I'm sitting here wondering, was that a normal reaction? Like, would anyone else think, whoa, that was just too much? Or would they get it?
So I think the my answer is in two parts, right? Because, like, is it a normal reaction? I think that was a very human reaction. As someone who claims to be human, I feel like I would have a similar reaction.
I'm actually an android, so I don't know how humans react, but...
Do it!
Secret Santa robot.
My assumption here is that the OP was acting out of a fear for the safety of the cat, which I think justifies a big emotional reaction in the moment. Sometimes our reactions are not our own. Just does that.
And I'd like to point out that the OP said a lot of things in here that were actual evidence of them caring about this cat, about being concerned about the holes and the amount of space up there, and actually taking care of the cat, at least attempting to provide the cat with some entertainment. And clearly, I'd also like to point out that the OP is concerned about, are they abusing this cat? And
Are they abusing the cat? I don't think so. Is the cat being abused? Gray area.
yeah, I was gonna say, that's a little bit more, not quite clear.
Be determined, perhaps.
I would say, am I the style? Not
No.
the
Not the
definitely, like, not even close. I would argue that it was a reflexive reaction. Clearly, there was a lot of emotions. Don't do it again.
Yeah, like, was it an ideal human-cat interaction? No, I don't think anyone's gonna say it is. But, like, is it justifiable? I think yes.
It's something that, as long as you recognize, hey, like, I should be more careful about this, and you try and, improve, that's all you can do. I mean, I've had times, too, where, like, I've accidentally turned around and Poutine has been there, and whoops, I've accidentally stepped... God, I feel terrible now. I've accidentally stepped on his tail. It's not something that I want to repeat. And
You don't feel good doing it.
the fact that you feel guilty, and I would argue even if you had a really strong emotional reaction and you were to intentionally have been like, "Rrr," and you were to be like, okay, I recognize that this is a problem, I shouldn't do this again. Is that a good thing to do? No. And the fact that you were like, I recognize that I need to work on myself and that I need to improve, that says a lot.
And, like, when it comes to cat welfare advocacy, which is what we both do on a daily, I mean, willingness to learn, the willingness to change counts for a lot. So the very fact that you're asking, am I abusing? Do I need to be worried? Is this a concern? Like, just the fact that you're asking makes me say, no, you're fine.
You're doing your best, and it sounds like you didn't sign up for this cat, and the cat is being treated better by you than by your sister.
And quite frankly, I don't really blame the cat for wanting to get into OP's room. Despite the small space and the holes and stuff, it might be a bit of a sanctuary from the rest of its life.
From the giant mountain of cat crap.
This cat deserves a medal.
And I think that this cat deserves a golden churu or something.
And I mean, we could have the whole conversation about, like, people need to be better informed when they're picking up pets, and they need to make decisions that are realistic. And if they make a commitment to that animal, they need to follow through and maybe not let cat poop pile up for 3 months as a starter.
Basic.
But this was not done by them, it was done to them.
Beth, what are your thoughts on rehoming this cat? Do you think that would...
I love it, love the idea. I mean, simply because it sounds like the person who actually owns this cat does not actually care to own this cat.
Constantly talk about how she hates the cat.
It will not allow the cat to be rehomed for some reason. I mean, I think OP's sister needs a reality check. Sounds like they've had the conversation and it doesn't go well.
OP is doing their best. So, OP, keep it up. OP's sister, I have a lot I could say, but I'm going to keep a lot of it to myself. Beth, shall we move on to the next one?
Let's do it. It comes with a picture, so that's very exciting.
Ooh.
Because the picture is of an orange tabby, and objectively, orange tabbies are the best color of cat. Yeah.
As someone who I
Pretty
clearly
sure I
have a
saw
type.
that written somewhere. It was in my diary, but it was still written.
Listen, I'm pretty sure I saw that Siamese mixes were the best type of cat written somewhere. That might have been my channel and my website and all of my social media. Did you hear that, Prozac? He is, you can't see him right now because he's sleeping on a stool, but he's leggying, so he's got his leggy out.
All right, he's allowed. We'll allow him. Okay, so it starts. Harry joined our family at 8 weeks, and until his 3rd birthday, he was raised as an indoor cat with access to the outdoors during daytime. OP lives in the UK. Makes a difference. For reasons, we've had to move into a first floor flat without a cat flap. It's a rented flat. And anyway, there's a busy road by our doorstep, and we'd rather not have Harry and his brother Cookie, he's 7 years old, out so close to a busy road. Cookie seems fine fully indoors, as he stopped spending time in the garden after he turned 5. Harry, however, is okay but gets restless in the mornings. He meows in frustration, and there's no way to let him out and back in safely. He escapes from the harness, and we've decided to not even give him the option of knowing there's an outdoors for them from day one in this flat. I'm not looking for suggestions on how to get them outside safely. I am looking for suggestions on how to keep Harry, and by proxy Cookie, entertained. He is a cat tower, a scratch pole, a floor scratcher, lots of soft toys, and catnip toys. He also has the fishing rod toy and the little red dot light thing. What are good interactive toys for 3-year-old cats, especially these wonderfully silly orange cats? Agreed. I see so many options and have no idea which ones are a waste of money.
A lot of them.
Buy whatever toy you want, give the cat the trash.
Just go get some crumpled up paper and toss it to the cat. Or ping pong balls. We stand ping pong balls around here. They are very popular.
We love a ping pong ball.
Also socks.
Socks are fun because you can make them into those nice little kicker toys, and then we can like bunny kick them.
No. Poutine just likes socks. He just likes socks. He will seek out socks.
What does he do with the socks that he sought out?
Do I have a sock nearby? No, I don't have something. I mean, I'm wearing a sock, but that would be gross if I were to demonstrate using a sock that I was wearing. So he will take the sock and he will stick it in his cute little mouth. Oh, wait, hang on. I have this glasses cleaner that we're gonna pretend is a sock. So use your imagination. This is a sock. So Poutine will go and he will seek it out and he'll be like, ah. And he'll carry it, and he'll not try and destroy it. He'll just move it back and forth, like
Oh man. What is it with cats though that are like obsessed with feet? Because whenever I visit my friend and her cat, like I take off my flip-flops, this cat rolls on my flip-flops. Don't give me a complex about my sweaty, smelly feet.
Beth, in a previous episode of Class Act Chats that, when we're recording this, has not aired yet, I talk about my theory that valerian root and foot odor, because valerian smells like feet, that there are bacteria that produce a chemical that is also probably in valerian or similar, and it may have to do with that, but I've done a research, like I've done a dive, and I can't find any evidence of this. So I started a campaign called Get Poutine a Mass Spectrometer, because we just need a little bit of like a microbiology lab and a mass spectrometer to see what chemicals these bacteria are producing and if there are any iridoids in it, and is there an overlap between that and valerian root. So anyone who has access to that, maybe a PhD in chemistry or a microbiologist or anyone from a university, this would be good publicity because it's cats, it's fun, there's stinky feet involved.
Valid research that we need to know the science behind.
We need an answer to this important question.
Walking catnip alternative, I must know.
Beth personally needs. We will swab Beth's feet and see what bacteria grow. We will try different types of agar. We will try like the blood agar. We will try the, potato starch agar. There's different kinds of agar. We'll see what grows. We're gonna try all bacteria. We're gonna see like which kind of teeny tiny little colonies grow. We'll isolate them. We'll see what stinky odors they produce and if any of them drive cats crazy. Beth, I've just volunteered you to help with my science experiment.
I mean, I'm the one with the feet, right? So
it does hinge on your feet, so.
I was gonna jokingly ask if this was like the same thing as the catnip olive juice connection, but it sounds like maybe yes.
It probably is. Like I said, I don't have any evidence yet until you with the mass spectrometer gets in touch.
And then your email pops up on screen. massspectrometer@classactcats.com.
I am actually going to make that an email address. I send an email to massspectrometer@classactcats.com. I will order a copy of the graphic that I have for Get Poutine Mass Spectrometer on a t-shirt for you or something. Like, we'll make it worth your while.
We've got ways.
Yeah, Poutine will write you a handwritten thank you note. Anyway, back to our sweet, precious orange boy.
The topic that we actually came here to talk about. So, I mean, it sounds like he just needs ways to stay entertained indoors when he used to have access to the outdoors. I know indoor-outdoor cats are like a whole conversation, and it really depends on where you are. US versus UK even, there's a huge divide between what we feel is Right. And I don't really care.
Let's not open that box.
Yeah. Bottom line, OP has reason for keeping the cat indoors.
Like the outdoors sound really dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. So the best thing we can do is improve the cat's quality of life indoors and make them as comfortable as possible and enriched as possible, because outdoors can be very enriching. I mean, also very terrifying. But I mean, it sounds like we need ideas of ways to bring the outdoors in, because that's probably the easiest way to keep this cat stimulated and happy, right?
What a wonderful idea, Beth.
I mean, who would have thought? And I mean, it's not like this cat has nothing. I mean, they have scratch pads, they have a cat tower, they have toys, like both interactive and solo. Probably the OP's question is, why isn't this enough? So like, what does make a good cat toy? And I think like most things in behavior, it depends.
Yeah, it depends on the individual cat, because even the greatest cat toy of all time, the cat dancer, there are some cats out there that don't like it, which is just, I mean, weird. Let's just acknowledge that, like, how can you not like a rolled up piece of cardboard that bounces on a wire?
Even I like that one.
There is a cat toy. It's this like propeller on a wire that you can like move around. It's so fun to play with. I enjoy playing with it.
Like, I don't want a cat to play with it with me because they're going to interrupt my fun.
I actually get upset when Poutine or Prozac goes after it, because I'm like, no, I'm enjoying like moving it around.
Making it make sounds and patterns. Go play with the laser.
Yeah, go play with something else.
If we're trying to make specific recommendations, which we're not, because like giving internet advice to generic strangers that we've never met and don't have the ability to ask questions to, not super ethical. So generally speaking,
I would maybe start with, you can always add in more places to climb or other stuff, because that's nice and passive. You just set it up and then cat goes and is like, yes, more places to lounge, and they can run up and down, and that would possibly fulfill a need that the cat is getting outside that they're not getting inside.
I mean, because if we're outdoors, we probably have multiple trees we can climb every day and get
at least 3 trees.
So like one cat tree, not gonna do it. But also, don't forget we have Cookie in the house. We do have 2 cats, and they should not have to share resources. So like minimum of 2 cat trees anyway.
Probably some scratchers too.
You can bring the outside in. You can get like raw wood to bring in as a scratcher, which can be very satisfying for cats who used to have access to that.
You can get a little patch of grass. You could grow some cat-safe plants and just let them like, just completely like maul it.
Different textures, different tastes, like a whole sensory garden experience. I mean, it sounds like these people rent, to use the American term, an apartment on the first floor, but catio may or may not be an option.
They do make portable catios. They're ones that are renter friendly, as long as it's within terms of, rental agreement. I've suggested those to people before. I also want to clarify one thing that they said for those who are, dumb Americans like us. A garden is an equivalent of a yard. I just want to, because I always envision like a cat sitting by a tomato plant, or sitting by some corn, or watering a petunia.
Yeah, not saying that's not happening, but
it's more of a yard.
I am getting caught up on the laser pointer, because like, especially for a cat who's had access to the outdoors and may or may not, because we don't know, but may or may not have successfully hunted,
murdered,
Mommy, I'm scared.
Chasing the red dot, not a super satisfying activity unless you take a lot of care in how you set it up. Switching that out for something else that he can actually sink his teeth and claws into, like a kicker toy, might go a long way. Plus, they did mention catnip, but they didn't mention silver.
Which you need to discover the magic of Silvervine. And as we've established, valerian root too, because it may or may not have a chemical that also is produced by bacteria and feet, which anyone out there would like to help with us discovering this. And I'm just gonna remind people of the email address.
If you don't get a mass spectrometer out of this, I don't know what's wrong with the world.
Even if you are like, this is the dumbest video I've ever seen, please share it with everyone you know who is a scientist or science adjacent, because Poutine needs a mass spectrometer. I will order the agar plates. I know how to plate things. I did get an A in microbiology. I do remember how to do that. I can sterilize things. I just do not have the expensive science-y equipment that I need to do a chemical analysis.
Which, being realistic, there are probably shipping logistics to worry about there. So, I would even accept someone with access to a mass spectrometer either flying you out there to use it, or just running the experiment on their own if they have a person in their life whose shoes are continuously rolled on by cats.
We could even, like, I can provide you with instructions. I can tell you how to tend to the microbes. We can do
We
this
can
as
be
a
flexible
real...
to make this happen.
Yeah, this is something, I mean, this has been Poutine's dream for such a long time that I can't imagine letting him down.
Like 5 whole minutes. When object permanence is not necessarily your forte, that's a long time.
Oh, poor Poutine. But we're gonna make Poutine's dreams come true, aren't we?
Exactly. Mass spectrometer at classactcats.com. Email today.
Do
Share
it.
with your friends.
Yeah,
Definitely
tell
don't
everyone.
send fan mail.
Yeah, don't do that because then I'd have to shut down the email address. So don't ruin this. Serious inquiries only.
For the non-serious ones, you can email joke at classactcats.com.
And if you're trying to spam me with boring, stupid SEO stuff, don't bother. Like, that's go away. I'm gonna just ignore it. Should we do another one?
I think so. I think we've talked about bring the outdoors in. OP, your cat will love it.
I love this. Okay, this one is not an individual post. This is actually a group. And we're gonna talk about them. I was about to put an opinion on that one, but we're gonna just talk about it. And Beth, I wanna know what you think about this group. So this is r/airplane ears. And this is a subreddit for pics of animals with airplane ears with an emphasis on cats. And so, Beth, thank you for demonstrating airplane ears.
My wrists don't rotate as much as an ear does.
Yeah, it's just basically the ears go out to the side and they're flat, kind of like airplane wings.
Many
Essentially.
species do.
It's not just
so
cats.
much human.
I have tried moving my ears into that position and I have to actually physically press them down, which does make it a little hard to hear.
You just end up making a weird face and people ask if you're okay. Which is a great thing to ask if you're showing airplane ears, but...
Do you want to explain to people what airplane ears mean in cats? Like, what are some possible interpretations of this piece of body language?
Yeah, despite the subheading of this subreddit that we are referencing, airplane ears are not just to indicate a readiness for taking off. Although,
they might
not
indicate...
so unbad of a description.
Yeah, they might indicate that the cat wants to take off.
Yeah, tends to be a fear or stress reaction, or generally speaking, a negative valence of emotion, right? Where the cat wants to, it's a distance increasing signal. We're saying, get away from me, you're too close. Whatever you're doing right now, I don't like.
Beth, speaking of valence, atoms will have valence electrons, and that's something that one could detect in a mass spectrometer. Just want to throw that out there.
You're just going to have to do a lot of editing in.
A lot of... I'm going to edit in so many things. I've had multiple, cat raves during different videos where we'll just suddenly stop and, there will be some EDM music and then flashing lights and cats, partying.
That's kind of how we started, yeah. So
Great.
might as well continue.
Dance break. Okay, back to serious discussion topics.
Yeah.
This group is a place for posting photos that are supposed to be cute of these cats that are upset. End of the day is they're not having a good time because this is a pretty clear, generally piece of body language that the cat is not happy about something. They're communicating their displeasure.
Joey, since becoming a cat behavior consultant, has the internet been the same for you?
No, I can't watch cat videos. People will send me pictures of cats and I'll just sit there and be like,
it makes me feel uncomfortable. I hate it. My skin is crawling.
Yeah, even pictures of my own cats, if I take it at the wrong time and I'm like, okay, they were moving because there was a noise or something, and I look at it and I'm like, no, he looks upset, and I'm like, well, even pictures I previously thought were cute, I now am like, I can't enjoy this anymore because I like to kill everyone's fun, including my own.
Yeah. And it's spilled over into other species because I know enough now to know that a lot of the things us humans find really adorable, unfortunately, are not that adorable.
They're also kind of rude for any number of species. A lot of videos with animals are, and I'm not saying I hear you typing out those comments before anyone does that. Not every video, hashtag not all videos. Not
of it
every
done well.
videos. Yeah, and sometimes we post things before we know better. It's, learning is a good thing. A lot of videos of animals on the internet are actually really mean. Like, they're just not kind to the animal.
And then people like us, or people who just have a general knowledge of cat body language, will come in the comments and be like, hey, that's actually not funny. It's kind of upsetting. And then people will be like, stop being a killjoy. Meh, meh, meh.
Why do you hate fun?
But like, if the cat could cry human tears, you wouldn't feel the same, because that's what they would be doing here.
Exactly. You know
Or
who's not
maybe
having
would feel
fun?
the same. But that brings up bigger questions.
We're getting a little bit too philosophical for where we are. We're a lowbrow establishment here. The only deep issues we talk about are mass spectrometers, chemistry. So, Beth, I find it interesting that if you go to the rules of this group, which I will have appear mysteriously on the screen, that the first rule is no animal abuse. Posts should not contain animals in distress, pain, or any similar unsafe situations. So, no posts basically can be done in this subreddit.
Most species that are capable, I shouldn't make a generalization like that. A lot of species that are capable of doing the airplane ear thing, that is an indication of a welfare issue inherently.
Yeah, it's
like every picture on there has got to violate the subreddit rules, but because it's cute and we find it funny, it doesn't.
I think a lot of people were like, oh, this is a cute thing, which I will agree objectively. I mean, cats are cute, so it's hard to take an ugly photo of a cat. They do look cute, and they are also in distress. This is a sign of distress.
If anyone who moderates that subreddit is watching, maybe have a quick little thought about whether it's doing what you want it to do, because I don't think perpetuating myths about cats really helps anyone.
And while you are at it, if you are taking a picture of your cat with their airplane ears and you're like, man, this is adorable, ask yourself if maybe there's something bothering your cat that you could try and help them with, or if they're in distress, and if you can do something to try and make their life better rather than continuing to let them suffer.
I mean, that being said, like, there's a lot of subtlety in body language, and I fully acknowledge that, like, practicing professionals in this room for, collectively more than a decade, certainly.
A length of time. We have been practicing for a length of time.
Time bigger than zero. Like, and there's still things we're learning about cat body language, right? So I'm not going to hold anyone accountable to have knowledge that they just can't reasonably be expected to have. But that doesn't mean you can't go out and do your own research. Like, ASPCA Pro has a great cat body language video. Maddie's Fund is a fantastic resource for information. Like, there's a lot of information out there. Kitty drawings or kitty language.
This is the second. Maybe it's the third. I don't know. I feel like every time I bring someone on, they're just like, Kitty Language by Lily Chin is amazing. And it is. They're not wrong. Lily is amazing.
We reference it for a reason. The drawings are pretty good and easy to follow.
And again, Lily is just a lovely human, and I'm gonna stop now before I go off on a ramble about how awesome Lily Chin is, because I will.
She's so awesome. I feel like someone would probably be willing to feel generous in donating a mass spectrometer to her, at least.
Yeah, and then she may not have a use for the mass spectrometer, so I'm sure she'd be willing to give it to Poutine or share it with Poutine at a minimum.
Exactly. So I feel like even if we don't take a liking to you for some reason, we've got to work. There are easy ways to educate yourself. Is what I'm trying to get at. And if you own an animal, it is the least you can do to figure out a little bit about how they communicate, because you are essentially holding them captive in your home. And I know we don't think about it that way, because like, they're so cute and we have mutually beneficial relationships, and we do, but they still don't speak English. Maybe try and learn a little bit of their language.
And it's kind of unreasonable to expect the cat to only listen to you and not you to listen back.
We endorse two-way communication and always consent.
You have a relationship with your cat. End of the days, it is a relationship. They are a living being, and you need to respect them on a basic. They have preferences, they have things they like and don't like, and if you don't care about your cat's preferences and what they like or don't like, I encourage you to reflect on that, preferably with like a therapist or something, because there's some deeper stuff going on there about like, why don't you respect the autonomy of other living beings?
Other living beings that are dependent on you for life-sustaining things. But moving on, I've got another litter box one for you.
Woo!
All right, so title and subreddit here. My darling, starting out well. This is another orange tabby, by the way. So, is there a
We
theme?
love this.
Maybe. My darling, nearly 4-year-old cat is so incredibly stupid. So it's starting there. We have some places to go. We got her at our local shelter when she was around 9 months old. She didn't know how to really behave as a cat and has learned a lot from our other cat who we adopted from a shelter at 2 months old. She doesn't meow properly, more just screams. She has always struggled with cleaning herself and understanding how to get up on every accessible surface. Recently, we have had issues with her pooping outside the litter box. So that was pooping, specifically. Which is an inside joke with us cat behavior people. It set off alarm bells. Like
Instant red flag.
Right? She will stand in the litter box, but her butt hangs out and the poop falls on the floor. We wound up
As
getting...
I would expect with gravity, like, thank you.
Yeah, gravity does in fact work on poop, it turns out.
What?
Exactly.
My life has just changed.
Does gravity just work different in Texas?
Apparently, like, you have a different form of gravity than we have up here.
So if you're not in Minnesota where the poop floats,
Minnesota, where the poop floats.
I think it would go great on a flag, personally.
I want it as a t-shirt.
All copyright rights hereby declared. We wound up getting a fully enclosed litter box, and she eventually learned how to use the door and get inside after some transition time and assistance. We have no feelings about enclosed litter boxes here.
Okay, go on.
There's more, yeah.
No,
We have tried
no.
putting the litter box in a more secluded area of our home so she can have privacy and not get distracted. She has ran out of the litter box before if there is a sound made around it. With all of these changes, she will still get in the litter box, but hang her butt out the door and poop outside of it, where presumably they're not in Minnesota, so the poop falls. Because it's enclosed and there isn't another exit, she now frequently steps in the poop, getting it all over the house and all over her. She won't get it off of her, so we often come home and need to clean her. We clean her toes due to clumped up dried poop in between them. We see her physically groom herself all over her body, but for some reason, she doesn't care when this occurs, or she is just bad at it. We have had to wake up at night and shampoo and clean the floors and give her a bath due to her stupidity. I'm trying to find another solution that helps us all out. She hates baths, and they are really distressing for her, but wipes don't always do the work, and then we end up needing to soak her feet and sometimes her stomach. We love her dearly, and we love her goofy mannerisms, and this is clearly a frustrating time.
Where do I start with my feelings?
Right? I mean, first of all, I know there's this conception out there that all orange cats in the world share a single brain cell, and, you know, some of them miss their days with it, and they're just a stupid lot. Orange is a color, not a breed. You're not bred for a specific trait. It's a funny joke. I certainly perpetuate it, but just so we're all on the same page, there is not an ounce of truth to it.
They would need more than one brain cell to have a functioning, nervous system.
I mean, don't get all sciencey on us. You and your
Clearly.
And your biology.
And my mass spectrometers.
You're gonna get so tired of typing out that email.
I have a way in my editing system that I can, just plop it in as a preset.
Perfect. Oh, that's gonna save you so much time.
Because we're talking about it so much.
So, I mean, I guess this is a good place to ask the question, what are general guidelines for litter boxes for cats? Because
okay, hang on, before we go there.
Stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, before we go there, vet. There are some other things too, but just in general, pooping outside the box. Has the cat seen a vet, and has the vet, looked at everything? Everything.
Because, let's just be honest here.
It.
How many times have we gotten a case where it's the cat is peeing or pooping, either one, outside the box, and when we ask, hey, have you gone to the vet and talked about it, and the client says, yes, I have, and they ran tests, and it's not medical, it's behavioral, How many times have we found out that that test was, oh, I palpated their belly, or I ran a screen for UTI, and that's it?
It's funny because we've been talking about this in our cat group lately. I have had a lot of cases recently where I will have clients get a video of their cat pooping, which I know sounds weird, but cats don't care about privacy, fun fact. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
They literally poop in the woods when they're out.
They're just like, whatever.
The bear is watching.
Yeah, they would probably not poop in front of a bear. Like, they would probably want to be, like, further away from the bear, because then they bury it, so then the cat...
They actually were stupid. Like,
yeah, in that case, like, that would be like a death wish type of thing.
A little bit.
So, but I've had a lot of these cases where I will have them get a video and the cat is just standing there, like, being like, "Arr!" At that point, I'm like, okay, like, I need the vet to relook at this, because this is abnormal. And even if it's behavioral secondary to the cat being uncomfortable or something else, that this is not a normal poop for a cat. Even if there's actually legitimately nothing going on and the cat is like, I'm spending this much time, why are they doing that? Is there something they're uncomfortable with? Like, this is a red flag right here.
I mean, let's face it, if you're a human and you're sitting on the toilet straining for a minute or more, like, does that not... Are you not sitting there questioning why this is... If you go to the doctor about it and they say, oh, it's just anxiety, are you going to be okay
with that? It's just behavioral.
I read it, just behavioral.
Which we should acknowledge that there are a lot of medical folks that will like dismiss very serious things that are as being like psychiatric, which is problematic on so many levels, and I am not going to go into that any further other than just acknowledging that that is a real thing. And it's problematic regardless of species.
Exactly, but like if you would be inclined to advocate for yourself in that moment, consider advocating for your cat.
And don't be mean to the vet either. Like, vets are stressed. They only have a certain amount of time. They're probably worried about being yelled at because people are awful to them. Like,
cats are really good at hiding diagnostic criteria from vets.
Even really good vets can miss things in cats because the cats will be like, I'm going to pretend everything is fine. Well, there's like a giant, like, I don't know, like snake biting them. And the vet will be like, there's a giant snake on you. And the cat will be like, no, there isn't.
I'm totally fine. I was born with that.
That's my parasitic twin snake.
This is completely normal. Why do cats not have snakes hanging from them? Like,
yeah,
cats are really good at hiding things. But if you got that video of the cat pooping, I'm sure your vet would be interested in seeing that.
And if you feel like you're not being listened to and there's something abnormal, don't be afraid to get a second opinion or to go see a vet that's maybe like a specialist or dig deeper. Again, do not be mean to your vet. They don't deserve it. Everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses. I don't know, diagnose a thyroid condition in a cat because I'm not a vet, so I don't do the medical side of things.
But do I know it's a possibility of something that exists? Yes.
Yes, I understand thyroids as a concept, and I also know what to look for when I'm like, this is a sign that, like, this is probably a medical thing that need the vet to figure out what it is. It's not my role to figure out what.
Exactly. Just my role to point out, hey, there's something abnormal here. Maybe go talk to someone more qualified than me. And, like, I have a pretty inflated ego of myself, so when I say that, it's not likely.
She is pretty full of herself.
I mean, have you seen my hair?
Your hair is full of secrets.
And debris.
That's why it's so big. And little teeny tiny bird nests.
Probably, at this point, yeah.
So that was the first part of it, is the vet part. I don't even know where to begin with which other part of this there's so many problems.
Your litter box is too small. If your cat's butt is hanging out of it, it's not because the cat is stupid. It's because it's too small for the cat. Like, have you ever been in a porta potty that just, like, and you're trying not to touch the walls, and, like, you're trying not to, because it's kind of gross and it smells bad, like that litter box that has been accumulating for 3 months, which is essentially what a porta potty is. Like, do you do some weird things? Have you ever made a mess on yourself because you're trying to, like, avoid touching the cats do it too?
Yeah. And the cats want to feel safe. They don't care about privacy. Like, let's just throw that one out there. They want to feel safe.
They're just trying to survive the interaction.
Yeah, they're just like, I just want to get, drop this shadoobie, and then I would like to go. Yeah, or if it were, again, let it float out. And I would like to then go and fantasize about murdering some birds. Like,
And like, I mean, some of the things that OP described make me just set off red flags in my head. Like, can I say definitively what's going on? No, absolutely. Because again, internet advice, ethics, no extra information, etc., etc. But like, if your cat is hanging its butt outside of the box, that tells me that maybe your cat is scared of going all the way in. Maybe it's too small and your cat doesn't feel comfortable going all the way in. Maybe your cat has mobility issues and they just physically can't go all the way in. Maybe
you don't
they
want to
really
push a
hate the litter.
freaking... Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that you can do in that situation to improve the experience, the user experience for the cat.
Remember, your cat chooses to use the litter box, not you.
And like, when you come down to it, most of the commercially available litter boxes out there, like the ones that have the label litter box on them, they were designed for humans. They were not designed with the cat in mind. Because you'll notice they're all like, it's tall, it's enclosed, it's tiny, we're trying not to make a huge imprint on your house. And it's like,
There's
but
a
we stopped
password that they have to
putting
enter
holes
to
in the
get
ground
in.
a long time ago. I mean, I know there's still some in the ground toilets, but like that's a cultural thing.
Yeah, and you know,
and you're probably used to it and raised on it, and it is culturally acceptable.
we can't apply our own standards to cats because killing everyone's fun here a little bit. I see all of these like pictures that go around the internet of these quote luxury litter box setups for cats that it's often like a covered litter box with a flap inside of another litter box, and they have like a light in there, and there's other things, and I'm just like, that is not a luxury.
Every time the cat walks in.
Cheesy crazy, like, no, it's pelleted litter. It's that I'm not gonna say the name of it because I don't want to like get like the company to come after me, but like, it's that stupid pelleted litter system that cats hate. That has been, I'm not kidding when I say still 100% of my litter box cases where they've had this stupid system, as soon as they've switched it, it has at least improved.
Immediately fixed.
It's I look like a wizard. Yeah, right? It's like at least gotten better. It's, again, I'm still at 100%.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoy those cases because you feel like a superhero. And you're just like, change that litter, and you do, and it's night and day, and it feels good. I love
so
it when you win.
Oh, it's great. And you know who the real problem is here? It's not necessarily the cat. It's not necessarily the humans that the cats as humans. It's the companies that make these stupid products.
Yes, because if you're a first-time cat owner, especially, like, you go to the store and you see litter box and you see this picture of a cat and it's so happy.
They look happy.
No,
an actual cat would be
out
like,
there.
no. I have a blog on my website about like picking out a good litter box. I've talked to numerous reporters about this. I'm very generous with like freelance writers about, you know, talking to them. I know a lot of other cat folks are the same. We want people to make good choices that are in line with what their cats want and still, you know, meet their needs. But sometimes we do have to make sacrifices, and it's part of having a cat is picking out a litter box that they like and that they will use. And
sometimes honestly, it's a trade-off of undesirables, right? Like, which is worse, a bigger box that is more exposed, or poop on the floor that your cat then steps in that you then have to wash off of them, which sounds like a traumatizing ordeal for everyone.
The choice is clear to me, but you know, what do I know?
I've seen some weird justifications of particular litter box setups, and you know what? Love, choice, and consent, they're very powerful concepts. Again, your cat is dependent on you, so maybe make some choices with them in mind. But I mean, it is hard to navigate all the information out there, so.
There's a lot, so pick one thing at a time, start somewhere. Maybe start by picking a litter that is soft on your cat's paws and see how they like it. You don't have to do everything at once.
Exactly. And there are professionals out there willing to help.
Yeah, if you need help, like, there's plenty of people who either have resources or do consultations. It's not like the information isn't there. And again, you really do need to think about your cat first. So Beth, let's do another one here. This one is this is a quick one, it's a fun one, and I'm sharing it because Prozac is trying to scam people. He is trying to convince them that he's a financial planner, and the only piece of advice he ever gives out is to buy Costco stock, which this is not financial advice. He is a cat. You should not get financial advice from a cat. But I saw this Costco cat scratcher on the Costco subreddit, and apparently it's an amazing cat scratcher because the OP, whose username I love, the cats were enjoying this scratcher even before it was finished being assembling their own teeny tiny Costco. I need this for Prozac. They have not been found in Minnesota yet, apparently.
Costco at classcats.com. No.
Costco mass spectrometer. If anyone wants to go to their local Costco and see if they can find me a mass spectrometer, even if I have to buy them in bulk, I'd buy like 3 of them if needed. I can share them.
I feel like you're going to get free shipping on that.
I feel like that has to qualify for free shipping, especially because when I looked them up for my talk with Misty, when we were talking about mass spectrometers, they were at least $50,000 typically. Like they were not a small amount of money. You can get a gas chromatographer, like a machine, which I don't know if that would necessarily like accomplish what I need it to accomplish, but it is another way of like chemical analysis that you can get those for not inexpensive on the internet, but they are still more than I would like to spend because I don't know if I would have a use for it after this. And also, Poutine has his heart set on the mass spectrometer.
I mean, he has an email for it and everything.
He does. And I just want to throw it out there that I think because we want to get Poutine his mass spectrometer, Prozac wants his own Costco. So, like, balance here.
I mean, cats do prefer separate resources.
Poutine can go hang out in his mass spectrometer, Prozac can go hang out at Costco, and he can, restock gold bars.
I think that would make everyone happy.
I think he'd be very happy with that. So, okay, let's do another one here, since that one was kind of a joke. I'll read another one.